When I was in my third year of undergraduate, I read an article about the publishing of Pentagon papers. It's really astonishing for me because in China we do journalism the way maybe government would like. But when I read the article, I found that in other parts of the world, you can fight with the government just to protect the citizens' right to know the truth. So I think it's really amazing for me. So I came to America to learn journalism.
That's the great thing about journalism. You are the agent for the people. For about 15 years, I have run a special program for newly arrived grad students from other countries.
A lot of American journalists, their work, I can rethink the world by reading those articles. Those are skills I really want to learn. The first and the major challenge is language.
There would be different kinds of problems, but they all come from language.
Most students in China study English for many, many years and get very good grades, but they're still not ready. They need to be able to do interviews, they need to be able to understand what their interview subjects are saying to them, they need to be able to write in a very casual, catchy kind of English to write news stories.
I think for my American classmates, that's really not a big challenge for them. But I think it was hell for me at the beginning. I'm even struggling with the phrases or sentences. How can I develop a style in my writing?
In Chinese, the translate of problem, question, and the issue, they are all the same. The first time I use I mean issues, but I use problems, and someone would ask me, oh, what's the problem? So it's a little difficult for me to find the right words.
How to help someone develop that sensitivity?
There is no other way except reading newspapers every day and stimulate their articles and try to write as much as possible, try to read as much as possible.
And listen and hear how the language is actually used today by the native speakers.
It's really slow. I think it's a long process for me.
I've learned a lot from these students over the years. Many of the Chinese students are actually very sophisticated consumers of journalism because they have been puzzling for years over why a certain story appears at a certain time with a certain spin.
In China, most articles appeared on newspapers or in broadcast news are about propaganda.
I don't think it's very full of information for the audience.
They're very questioning about things in a way that a lot of the American students are not. The Chinese students are frustrated because they can't always pursue all the questions they have. That could be a dangerous thing to do in China.
But I think it's getting better. Like maybe 20 years ago, we are not allowed to say anything bad about our country. But now you will see a lot of stories talking about food problems or air pollution or even corruption in China.
I think journalism is changing in China, and it's in a pretty good way.